Well, I guess this is the most biggest concern for any business owner when it comes to medium, small, micro business owner as well. I mean, irrespective of the ground that you are coming from or from a business space, retention of high quality, talented employee or manpower is probably the most effective. One of the most biggest concern for all the small, medium business owner, right? So, this starts with the very strong intentions, and this starts with a very high cultural aspects, which also aligned in the entire ecosystem as well. So I'll deep down all the aspects from considering the journey that I've lived in, and probably rubbing hands into four businesses across different stint of the career sprint, and then probably getting into hands-on, rubbed on, and then probably surrendering to all my best mentors. This journey has been so strong enough that it's all coming from core of the heart and a very heartfelt, deep feelings to also share and impact what really has worked well and what hasn't, right? So stay till the end and listen to the entire video till the end of it, and make sure that you jot each and every angle aspects of it, because what I'm doing right now, I'm just clubbing down the nutshell experience of more than close to 2 decades in not summary of this entire video. So what you will be getting is a complete a learning curve, compact, crystallized in that form of video. So just to make sure that you make enough notes of that, and being congruent with your journey, and apply the same environment. So hi, this is Avik a business strategist and a consultant equally as well, and I'm in this mission right now to help business owners like you to help in your business to build a sustainable and scalable business. And so, like I was sharing, when it comes to deep dive into the topic and taking care of this utmost concern of addressing this concern of retaining a very, very high power, high talented, powerful team impact. What really matters is to understand their deeper aspects, their aspirational goals, because at times it gradually happens that when you spend over a period of time as business owner in the environment with your team member, so you start taking as granted either the relationship you start taking as granted, or probably their accountability, their way of delivering results, you take it as granted. So either way, that can be a zone of conflict which arises within the environment. From both the aspects. So for the first and foremost things which needs to understand is a clear-cut exchange of relationship and accountability, which all comes from a very core aspects of setting the right expectations of aspirational goals, and understanding those clear aspirational goals of your team members, of your functional heads. And that's where you start syncing with them and resonate with their language. So whether it is in terms of their process goals, their career goals, their financial goals. So everything has to be aligned in the ecosystem, right? When all that buying happens and all that comes from their end, then probably mutually setting up those business expectations becomes very easy, because that's where they are very much aligned, and alignment is a complete science, right? So for some team member, it might be always, it can be also at a very high purpose, working for the right leader, right? This can be also a bigger aspiration. You never know that. At times it cannot be only process oriented or only financial goals for that matter. It can be also for the right leadership to work with. And that tilts the entire shift of the environment, and that completely, take the entire game altogether. So it can be at times an emotional bonding too. So you just have to take it out and understand the ground and take the ball way ahead. And our right leader is the one who earns the respect without the authority, rather just being an authoritative title in the environment. Yeah. That's the one way, the first pointer to look at it when you set all these expectations alignment right. The second thing is that eventually, if you have set it right, you still find at times that it becomes very tough to retain those high performing talents. Probably it is also those fine conversation, which is a cultural conversation which keeps on happening in the environment. So you need to understand those shift, those nuggets, those tone of this conversation. I guess these will shift the entire the horizon in the environment. Yeah. So it's not about squeezing and taking out and, just like that. And, no. So the bottom line is authenticity. The bottom line is core traits of authenticity and the intentions, which is coming right from the business leaders. And that also gets sensed in the environment. Okay. So just for the sake of getting the work done and getting resourced, utilized, I mean, those things will actually doesn't work out. So you have to be very transparent in your communication, authentic in your communication, give them those space to be heard and give them those space to be empowered, give them those space to be understood and give them those space to be connected. When you work in those pattern, in those leadership styles, the entire congruent way of getting the business result become completely a different mindset and a bit different volume altogether. I mean, then your number becomes just a byproduct because the culture has been tuned so high in the environment that it equally falls on the table. Yeah. And yes, having said that, once you are done with these one or two steps that I already mentioned, then what next comes is something to do with your understanding the fact that if you are especially in a B2B environment, so I'm covering all the final aspects that can be in the environment. So if you are someone in the business owner as a business owner who's handling a typical B2B environment, let's say for the sake of matter, you are into a real estate business, or maybe you are into a business which is more into B2B dealership level kind of, yeah. So there, probably to retain those high sales performer team, you always need to ensure that you must have at an initial level, because a B2B environment initially expects a lot of all the set levels of dealing, which is probably the toughest in terms of retention of manpower, talented manpower, right? So it starts with networking, then presenting the right dealings, the presentation, and then goes by negotiating with the client, closing the pitch, and also following up and all that stuff. So probably a B2B sales professional or a B2B talented team member, if they're able to break through all these steps which I just mentioned, probably this will be an icebreaker, an eye opener for you and a game changer for you in that matter, right? So just make sure that yes, you are able to cross all these parameters, and that's where, if you're able to get someone like this, then nothing great about it. Otherwise, the other aspect could be, if you are someone who is dealing in a B2B environment, then probably your initial crack would be to find someone who's a door opener. What I mean by the door opener, initially someone who is good enough in terms of building networks and do some presentations, right? And probably cracking those deals and getting to the finer touch points might be something where you come in the picture and do all those closure, right? And so that's one way that you can make those qualitative hiring basis on their psychographic profiling. So very important that also how you do your hiring, right? Okay, that also ensures a long-term fitment of your high power, high talented manpower team. So if the hiring is also not effective, where the alignment is not effective, that also becomes a conflict zone way ahead down the line equally as well. So it has to be perfectly mapped when it comes to strengths, when it comes to contributions, deliverables, and all that stuff. Having said that, so that's good. That could be one way to you can fit in the role of alignment and the environment and make it happen as well. The other way is if you find the door closure rather than the door opener. So there can be two way of hiring. When it comes to B2B environment, one is the door opener, and the other is the deal closure. If you find someone who is a deal closure, probably you rock the show, because that's where you would be able to make it very, very strong hiring, where they are pretty expert in their domain expertise as well when it comes to negotiating and closing the deal equally as well. So all this comes from those psychographic profiling, and basis which you make those right hiring decisions and make them compatible in the journey in terms of the role, in terms of the number one, number two pointer I like I already mentioned, where it is more of a sync with the aspirational goals and then taking the journey way ahead equally as well. Yeah. And then comes the fourth pointers, or probably, you can say that, which is building the capability. And the best way of building capability is make sure that you are able to make your team shadowing enough in the environment. So, you can bucket them like the way it happens in any bell curve, which is like level one, A, B, C kind of thing, which is a high performer, a mid performer, and a great performer. So accordingly, you can bucket them and you can sizing them. And then you can just shadow the mid player with the top performer, the bottom player with the top performer, and stuff like that. And with a given timeline, they should be able to deliver equally as well. Once you do that, they should be good enough to get it baton and ready for the game to deliver equally as well. Yeah. And last but not the least, which comes also when it comes to retaining high performer, talented team member, especially in a family business. And I have seen probably or have interacted with a lot of business owners where I came across and understand that these are the situations where entitlement comes in place, where position comes in place, where authority comes in place. Because since you come from a background where it is more of a family-based background, and you are more aligned to get sort of authority, so probably you might hold it on the initial level on the right footprint, but over a period of time, you lose the show, because the whole purpose is again simple, which is earn those respects. Now, even if you are someone who's entitled in the family business and you're taking up the new next chair, but you have to be heard from your environment, from your ecosystem. You have to ensure that you understand your people well, you understand their tonality well, their emotions well, and how they are inclined in the environment. Probably accordingly, you can understand and empathize and get connected with all functional, situational, functional heads and the leadership level in the environment. And then gradually, when you understand, give them some time and their tonality and everything, you start doing those brainstorming sessions with them. What works well, what doesn't work well, what can be done better, and stuff like that, where you can take those instant decisions and start co-creating. Rather, initially coming in the environment and trying to kind of hand on and bull ball like a bulldozer kind of thing, and just try to co-create anything and everything. So it's always heart connect and a head-to-head connect equally, both of them, right? It's a balance of heart and head combination. It's not only about logic, it's also logic and caring approach. And probably basis that what really matters is when you make that's where you become a co-creator, and then brainstorm and then feedback and all that stuff become a part of the progress show equally as well. Once you're able to do that, I think, and you follow all these steps rigorously, like I mentioned, your job becomes very simple as a business owner. You are making very sure that you are aligning your team members culturally well, most importantly, aspirational wise well, because each one have their own aspirations, and I've already given you probably the highest level of situations also. And last but not the least, to make them capabilities, by shadowing them and following all the art of shadowing, which I'll be again detailing down in maybe in some other videos. And also talking about the family businesses as well, where you can also map them equally as well when it comes to retaining those high employees. So with that, I'm sure this has given enough insight and food for thought in terms of reflection and understanding how it goes on in the environment and where you want to work out and what it needs to take it on. So would really love to understand what is your takeaway on this and how do you react to this? What you will be best taking it out from the environment, from this video, and will be applying equally in an environment. So all that, just comment below and just make sure that you are definitely on toes. And also do comment what is the next video that you would like to listen out to and hear out. So accordingly, I can also give you the best in terms of the journey equally ahead. Till then, Avik signing off here as of now. And do sign off and subscribe, like my channel. That will also give me an inspiration to keep adding and sharing all these brain insights and PowerPoint videos. And yes, also do come, do join my channels to ensure that all the links that's been given, the Telegram and the Facebook group, which will allow me to add you and keep on sharing this such PowerPoint insights so that you'll be able to get all those solutions in your business journey where equally as well. Yeah, which comes absolutely at a no cost bonanza, but definitely with a high price pay, which comes as a comprehensive learning out of this entire journey. So Avik signing off here as of now with that, and look forward to hear out from you equally as well. Till then, have a wonderful day ahead. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.